If you watch Judge Napolitano speaking for a long time regarding Russians, Ukraine, American, the FBI director, former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, he's involved with a whole bunch of people tied to the name Ray Colello. And my past neighbors, one was switching the name on social media was named Cleza and Lewis as a last name. Other people with that name Lewis involved. In other words, through time with child abusers. These are child abusers, leaders of the kids, involved with Russians and Americans, where and how shared here and there. And the military is criminally foreign influence. A whole bunch of people tied to a Ray Colello involved with Wethersfield police forging and switching names and fabricating what's actually recorded digitally and with phone records. And Wethersfield police attached me to fake conversations with them as a kid, now as an adult. Increasingly, people tied to a Joe I.L., a Joe DeMauro, a Mark Violet, an Eric Oliveri, Eric, and others, Eric Olson and Matt Olson. I never had a class with them. I only saw one of them real quick in middle school, real quick. They've been planting evidences with a Joe DeMauro, a John DeMauro, a Paul DeMauro involved with wire crimes with Wethersfield police. People with the name Kerr involved with wire crimes with Wethersfield police. Digital crimes with an officer, Jerry Miller, with child sex offenders. And more medical offenders of kids. Ones with Leahy faked conversations with me, with various courts, judges, and prosecutors personally and professionally involved with them, criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions raw. News, Connecticut's Channel 3 News, Connecticut's Channel 8 News, Connecticut's or Channel 3, WTNH, WFSB, and Fox Connecticut News. Also with intelligence next to them, they have all kinds of natures of organized crimes with those families who have been sticking predicate acts with people that were put in science classes with me. 2 speech class teachers I have are recorded and confessed, demonstrated, confirmed by adults and kids. Increasingly collusions with Washington, D.C. and World Trade Center names involved with federal evidences crimes all along roads and routes like Route 175 from old Wethersfield founding locations all the way through Wethersfield, through Newington, all the way to New Britain's Central Connecticut State University, and all sides of it is one of the things that ties people that were putting fake ties, fake natures of ties to me in databases, background roles, and acting tied to that. They're putting predicate acts in databases and acting tied to it. Russians and Americans have all kinds of psychiatry, criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions, roles, with uses of isms too, like Nazism. You guys had collusions right through, Russians and Americans had collusions right through world wars. With that same breaching method that left slavery blamed on other things other than themselves from what really caused it and used it. You guys have our founders' communications changed and replaced. Our founders communicated for us to understand. There was a human fact, tribute nature breaching method entrenched. That's what caused slavery. That's what caused the counter to it. With the Civil War was James Madison's plan. He didn't have free speech as a president. Our founders communicated for us to understand that. We have that replaced. We have things pretended debatable that are not. We have things that are pretended not debatable that are debatable because you guys are getting over on the identity of hyper-simultaneous nature. So you can't afford to have appreciated properly the simultaneous, which is used to show us the hyper-simultaneous. Distinctly from the other species bodies, we have quality aspects in nature, also non-distinct and simultaneous, but also for that / hyper-simultaneous, not us nor them, but is all things anyway. That's why we have 2 eyes. Fish, birds have 2 eyes. There is an identity of value progression that is neither us nor them, but it is showing itself to us. A bunch of people at Central Connecticut State University in Britain, Connecticut, and at Hartford, Connecticut, Hartford's Trinity College, and the intelligence families next to them, foreign and domestic, Afghan leaders of kids, overt criminal enterprises, private ones, all next to the campuses, planting lie progression cover-ups. On a mass scale, all natures of investigators in their campuses were and are being used remotely, criminally foreign influence. Assembly Bajaria will confess, demonstrate, confirm to you. I never had conversations with him. He tried to make a fake exception on both sides of my high school, planting evidences with a Judge Smith and others involved with sexual and medical offenders of kids, including with women at the courts. There are black and white women judges involved with some KKK black theme, Latino theme, Ukrainian theme, Russian theme. Time collusion / yes. Why does that thing keep blocking my thing? And when I start talking about these things serious, you guys better get the interbranch on paper and say sorry to Judge Napolitano. Let's get them on paper. I'm trying not to, the word. Then they're lying about what they think about what I say. They're leaking all this stuff. Weathersfield Police Chief Cintron has a whole bunch of people at the corner of Elm Streets and Weathersfield and Rocky Hill. A whole bunch of his officers and his sources recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed years before his extended family member and intimate ties were involved with the Mazzucato Bakery there. A whole bunch of people tied to them were involved with that corner who have been roles of predicate acts with the campuses and spreading lies about me with the people on my street, trying to be, in other words. Some retarded kid was being bullied by someone in one of the two times I had a cooking class. Both times they put people in that class who were involved with Elm Streets and Weathersfield and Rocky Hill, which are conjunctions to Route 3, which goes by the judicial branch offices. Increasingly, people with conjunctions to the judicial branch offices involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders about me. Like Weathersfield Pizza House right near the state judicial branch offices. They have wire crime acts and methods of Weathersfield police to pretend that I had conversations with a Steven Stocco that never worked because Maria Pizzino, where she lived then, probably where she lives now too. People that live next to her involved with various natures of organized crimes with little kids, including offenders of kids. And with her and with them. I never saw Maria Pizzino on a Weathersfield campus in my life. Mark Violet is one of the ones on off the Hartford Hospital and with houses and businesses next to it, involved with overt criminal enterprises and private ones. And that girl dragged to her death from there to Jordan Lane, involved with them also with the fake conversations with me. You have some very coward punk judges and prosecutors, tactically delusions wrought since founding. Roles with the branches of government used remotely criminally foreign influence. That's what our founders communicated for us to address. This is our country's A through Z. They're talking about Nazi. They left out their roles with psychiatry, tactically delusions wrought, criminally foreign influence, all kinds of medicines crimes with the courts and prisons that Russians and Americans have. They have the audacity to speak about power. Get them on paper, one name and sequence. Don't take it personally, Russia or Ukraine. Make sure the Weathersfield police get on paper, one name and sequence. Where's that police chief Cintron live? And get the courts on paper, one name and sequence with their sources and the rest of the people involved with the principal child abuser. Here! Get them on paper. Don't make me beg. Get them on paper. Judge Napolitano, do what's right. Get them on paper. Let's go.